21.
Amen.
I grew up in South East London, in a town called Chislehurst, in between Bromley, Alton and Sidcup. Went to a public school. Did really well for the first couple of years at school, getting top grades, and then I got involved with the wrong crowd. And the grades started going down, but I seemed to have more fun. And then when it came to the sixth form, I was doing A-levels, I came bottom in all my sets. And then they called my parents up to school and they said, you know, we'll keep you out of school unless you pull your finger out. So I decided to study, came top, and I said, that's it, I've proved the point, I'm going out into the world. Because one of my friends who left school when he did O-levels, he was in stockbrokers. He said, Andy, I'm doubling my money each month. So when he got his salary, they'd give it to the higher traders and then they'd make money from it. So I thought, I'm going into the city. When I was outside of school, some of my friends that I met down the pub, we started going to all these raves, which were you dance in a warehouse, dance in a field in the middle of nowhere, and they started taking these drugs called ecstasy. And drug education I had at school was like needles, heroin, and I always hated needles, and most heroin addicts you see there living in the streets, on the gutter, and I wanted to be clean. I thought, I hate needles, I'm not going to take heroin. But I watched my friends, they took these little white tablets, just like a Disprin or an aspirin, and for about 2 years, they weren't stealing. Well, the only thing I could say was that they were just moody on a Sunday night because they'd been up since Friday, dancing all weekend. And I watched them, they weren't stealing. You know, a lot of people ask me, why did you get into drugs? Was it because you had a bad family? And it wasn't. The truth was, I wanted to know what the fuss was about. It was curiosity killed the cat. And I watched them, you know, they weren't stealing, it was pocket money that parents would give them, they were spending it. And then a couple of my friends started dealing. And I was in a party once in South East London, and one of my friends said, Andy, just try one. And I said, oh, what's all this fuss? I said, let's see. So I took half a tablet, an ecstasy tablet. And the effects that it had, I'd never ever experienced anything like it before. And I said to one of my friends, why didn't you put this in my drink years ago? And they all laughed and said, now you're one of us. Anyway, then we started going into the West End nightclubs. One of my friends was selling, like, he was selling thousands a week. It's all different dealers, you know, smaller dealers. And we used to go to this nightclub called Gas Club, and on a Saturday night it was called Foreplay. It's no longer there, praise God, because it's been closed down and changed back into an office. It was just next door to McDonald's in Leicester Square. And one evening, one of my friends, he said, like, Andy, sell some pills for us, so I went down the pub seeing him one evening, and this guy said he wanted 50 pills, so I introduced him to my friend, and expecting to get a payment, and then a friend come over and said, oh, so-and-so's told me to give you this amount for the drugs, which wasn't enough. I mean, it was like a laugh, you know, I thought like, it was insulting him. And when I went to find him, to have a row with him, you know, punch his lights out, everyone said he's gone up the nightclub. So I was angry, and I jumped in my car, rushed up to the West End, got into the nightclub, and when I walked into the nightclub, there he was, staggering around, bottle of champagne in his hand, money falling out of his pockets, and he was so wasted, I thought if I hit him, he's not going to be feeling. So I thought I won't have the pleasure of that. So to get out of it, I thought I'd just get myself high really quick. So I just took 2 tablets out of the latest batch, and the effects of it was too much for me. I started like having palpitations, and I started like having a funny turn. And one of my friends said, come and sit down with us. And in a nightclub, you've got like these booths, and you've got these cast iron tables with marble bits on top. And I'm sitting there, and it was saying, you okay, you okay? And I started shaking, and all of a sudden I felt myself floating out of my body. And I thought, what's going on here? Just like a healing balloon, when you go to McDonald's or somewhere in the shopping centre, you get a healing balloon for the child, when you hold it, let go, it rises up. That's exactly how my spirit started floating out of my body. When I realised this was going on, I hung, put my hand underneath the seat to try and stop myself floating out. And I thought, this isn't right. And I wanted to take a drink, and when I picked up the glass, my hand was shaking, and I couldn't get any water into my mouth, it was just going all down my chin, all down the front of my shirt. All my friends still dancing all around the table, and put the glass down, and now I was really dehydrated. And I thought I need to get some water in me. And as I turned to look at the glass, I saw a goldfish blowing bubbles at me in the glass. Now I know, as a doctor would say, that's a hallucination. I mean, our minds have the ability to create a picture. So if I was to say to you, think of a dog, anyone would think of a dog between a Great Dane to a little Chihuahua. If I said to you, think of a big black dog, and most people straight away think of a Rottweiler. So that's your own mind with the creativeness. But then when you take drugs, those drugs can affect your mind, and you can hallucinate and see things that your mind's just projecting. But then when you go so far with the drugs, you can open yourself up to the spiritual realm. If you go anywhere in the world and you see like witch doctors, shaman, medicine men, they'll take barbiturates or some herb that will put them into a higher state of consciousness, which is when you step into the spiritual realm. And from my experience, I've learned that unless you know Jesus personally, the only spiritual things you're going to experience is of the devil, Satan's kingdom. And so while I was there, after I saw this goldfish blow a bubble, I couldn't reach the glass, all of a sudden my right leg just snapped and kicked, and it hit the table, and this table with all the glasses and all the drinks on went flying. And it went into my friends, and everyone, I was sitting there shaking, and I saw everyone just go running away from the table, because when one of those tables goes flying in the nightclub, you know there's normally a big fight, and everyone moves out of the way. And I remember seeing everyone all turning around looking at me, and I'm sitting there shaking, jerking about, and I thought, yeah, this isn't good. And then there was a guy in a social group who didn't like me, but he was on like friends with other friends, and he said, I heard him say, I'll snap him out of that, and he punched me in the face, and he knocked me off this sofa, and I fell on the floor, and everyone pushed me back, said, don't take liberties, that was uncalled for, and they set me back up in the chair. And I'm sitting there still shaking, trying to hold underneath, my spirit kept on rising out of my body. And then one of my friends had the sense to say, can't you tell he's dying? Now Chris was about 6'5", he just grabbed me, picked me up, put his arms behind me underneath my armpits, and then dragged me up the nightclub. He was like carrying me out. And this nightclub was so packed. There was a rival gang of people from the local neighbourhood that didn't like me. And I remember as he was dragging me through them, they're all looking to see what's happening. I was growling, I was hearing these noises come out of me. And I just see their faces like that, whoosh, whoosh, just move out of the way as he barged me through the crowd. And then hit the swing doors and dropped me on the floor in the foyer of the nightclub. And the lady who ran the nightclub that night, her brother and boyfriend, and a famous DJ, his sister did the guest list, they come running over and they said, is it an asthma attack? And my friend said, and I remember laying on the floor looking out at the moment and went, no, it's drugs, isn't it? And as I'm laying on the floor, I saw the head bouncer go to phone for an ambulance. And two doormen come running up the stairs. And at this precise moment, I just felt this cold feeling, like pins and needles going through both feet. Started at the toes and started creeping up my legs. And I remember the head bouncer took one look at me, put the phone back down, and he said to the two doormen, take him outside into the alleyway, he's not going to make it. Because if I died in a nightclub, it would have probably got closed down then. And like, you know, there's a girl who became famous for dying on ecstasy in the newspapers a few years back, and it would have been my name instead of hers. And as I'm laying, I'm thinking, what is going on? And then all of a sudden, my friend's girlfriend comes bursting out through the doors. She knelt down at the side of my body, and she's clutching my hand, and she's squeezing my hand so hard that I thought my bones were going to break. And as this coldness came right up through my waist, started going up to my chest, and they're all saying, don't die, and she's crying, and they've cleared everyone out the foyer, and I'm laying there thinking, I'm not going to die. What do you mean I'm going to die? And as this coldness come right up to my throat, you'd feel yourself going stiff, and you know when you go swimming, and you get water in your ears, it goes all muffled, as it goes up through my neck into my head, all their voices went muffled. And the next thing I knew, I floated out my body and I started standing at the top of the stairs in the nightclub just by where the keyboard is. And I'm standing there and it's on the first floor, and I thought, what the hell kneeling down? Who's that laying down there? I didn't even recognise myself. And as I'm looking, I thought, that's my new shirt. And I bought a new shirt that Saturday to wear that evening. And I thought, that's my new polka dot shirt. And I thought, that's me. And as I realised that was me, this black hole appeared, and I sunk through the concrete floor down to my knees. And I thought, there's something going on here, I don't understand it, but something's going on. And as I stood there, and my knees had sunk through the concrete floor, someone came walking up behind me in the tunnel. I now know it was the Lord. And when I turned around to see who it was, he put his hand up to my face, turned it back round and said, you can't look at me because all the things you've done wrong in your life. I thought, done wrong in my life? I'm only 20, I haven't even lived yet. I didn't realise that he was talking about my sins. And he said to me, what do you think's happened? I said, well, it looks like I'm dying. And he went, wrong, you're dead. I said, no, I'm not. And he said, try and get back in your body. And I'd seen the film Ghost with Patrick Swayze when you see him getting murdered and jumps, his spirit tries to jump through his body. I thought, stupid idiot, I'm going to get back into my body. And every time I tried to jump into my body, I couldn't get out of this black hole, this tunnel. And I was wiggling like this. I was bent double. And after trying all my strength, I knew I couldn't get back there. And I turned round to the Lord, and he put his hand up and goes, remember, you can't look at me. And I said, how do I get back? And he goes, think of your mother. And I went, my mum would kill me if I died of drugs, because she was so strict, she would come to the morgue to identify me, shake me back to life, and then kill me herself for the embarrassment and shame of being involved with drugs. And in that split second, I went flying back into my body. And then everyone's saying, oh, thank God you're alive, you know, I thought we lost you and that. And I didn't realise, what had just taken place. And they made me sit there for the rest of the night. And they said, we can't go back in the club, we're going to keep an eye on you. And I said, yeah, I'll be okay. Well, the silly thing was, I started doing drugs the following week. I thought I'd just cut it down. I won't take as many so quick. And just, keep an edge on it. Well, I had a girlfriend at this time, we met just after, and was in a topsy-turvy relationship. We used to row every week, and most of the time when she was rowing, she would say to me, what am I arguing about? And I'd go, I don't know, but please forgive me, because it was like the easiest way to stop the argument. Well, one time we split up so many times, I just said, look, I just thought I can't take this anymore. I said, we're just going to split up.